With the happenings now, I support and I highly support what Honorable the CS Murkomen has proposed, because that would be very important to capture the happenings in case of any.
Let them put those cameras wherever they can. Hiyo itaweza kutusaidia sana kama jamii. And also
my name is Frank Osoro, a resident of Nakuru and a parent at the Utumishi Girls Academy, the school that has now come into limelight because of the tragedy that befell the school. It is indeed a sad moment that as parents we are grieving. As parents, we've lost. It all started that dark night when we received information, when we got a call in the night around 1, that our school was on fire and the dormitory was being razed by the fire. Immediately we traveled and made our way to Utumishi, and the site that was haikuwa mzuri sana. As parents, we were kept out, rightfully so, because we believe the school administration was still struggling to put the situation under control. So we were kept out till morning, that we were allowed to get into the school and have a briefing from the school administration. Through the day, it was a long day because of the anxiety, because of the grief that you would see around the whole school. Through the day, we were able to have information of what had happened, of the circumstances that had been, and even sadly, we were able to be informed of the casualties that had been in that school. We were informed that as a school, we had lost some of our girls, and that became a breaking point to us, because indeed it was very sad. We struggled because at that stage we could not be able to have information on the possibility of even seeing our girls alive. But luckily, as a parent, at some stage when we were allowed to meet with our girls, I was able to reunite with my girl who is in grade 10 and who was in the very dorm that the fire was. When we were able to reunite, our story was scaring because she was able to indicate how lucky she was to come out of that dorm and even through the fire, because as she tells us, a cubicle where she's in cubicle number 11, which was engulfed by the fire, and how she came out, she was not even able to explain. It is that only we could say it was God, and it was God. Later in the day, of course, we were allowed to get home with our girls. And I want to indicate that it has been a tough moment. That as parents, we've not had it easy, even through the trauma that we are having as parents. It is so scaring. To our girl, it is even more scaring, it is even more traumatizing, because she lost several of our friends among the 16 that we've lost as a school. Our girl, as I indicated, was in grade 10, but most of the friends that she was relating with were in Form 4, and it has been so tough on her, because what I remember is that when we got to school, the first thing when we were embracing, the first thing is she was in tears, but she was crying about one student, one friend by the name Mercy Precious, a Form 4. And she was like, "Dad, I'm here, but I don't know if Mercy Precious has made it." Through that moment that we were there, of course, we were able to console with her and even give her hope. But sooner we got information that the girl she was inquiring about had passed. It was so difficult to tell her the same, so we kept giving her hope that this Mercy girl you have indicated, we've had information that she's in hospital, and yet we knew that the girl had passed. It was a sad moment. It was a sad moment. And I can say that even as we now go through this moment, it is still so tough, even so on the girl. When she gets to look at the footages of what is being relayed that happened, it is so traumatizing. It is so traumatizing. We've did our best as a parent to offer the little counseling that we are able to, and even opt for more counseling as she goes through this moment, because every time, like now the 16 girls, every time there's a footage of a friend that she noticed that passed, she's like, even this one died, So it is traumatizing, but we trusting that through the counseling that we are undertaking, it will help her, it will help us, because even so as parents, we are not having it any easy. Ni ile hata usiku hatulali, because we keep capturing that, could this have been true? Is it a dream? And yet it happened. So it's a tough moment that we are going through as parents, but we are trusting that as we go through this moment, we shall overcome this tragedy that has caught us as parents, as friends of the Utumishi girls. This afternoon, we've come to visit with the family to one of the daughters who passed. That is our girl, Mercy Precious. And as parents, we decided and we agreed that it's important that we bring all our girls, the Nakuru Utumishi fraternity. We bring all our girls so that we can grieve with this family, so that we can comfort this family, so that we can encourage this family. So this afternoon, as the Nakuru Utumishi fraternity, we've been accompanied by the girls as we console this family who are going through a hard moment. The footage is out, and before that footage, of course, I would say it has given people what really happened. And of course, as it gives us, of course, me, I would be like, oh, it's painful, yes, but it brings to closure the happenings that were that night. If that is true, that of course that is the footage that was, and that was, it has been able to give us closure, because very honestly, we couldn't have known that is really what happened. So to me, I believe that gives us the real picture of what happened, that now that it is covered through the CCTV footage. Exactly, yes. Because now with the happenings now, I support and I highly support what Honorable the CS Murkomen has proposed, because that would be very important to capture the happenings in case of any. So it would be still my strong position and strong conviction that indeed, if it were possible, these the CCTV installations are necessary in every institution, just as they are almost in all our homes. I support. I believe more of what the CCTV is meant to cover is not about the privacy, but if there is any wrong happening, that is what I would still have a strong position on, that it would give us the happenings of what has happened. I would still support.
Kwa majina naitwa Nkatha Mugao, the Executive Director Frolics of Hope na pia mzazi wa Utumishi Girls. Leo tumekuja hii area ya Lanet, tumekuja kuomboleza na mama Mercy Precious ambaye aliweza kupoteza mtoto wake katika hiyo mkasa wa moto pale Utumishi Girls. And allow me to say, kama mzazi, I am very disappointed na hao wasichana 7 ambao DCI anasema waliweza kutekeleza hili jambo. The reason I say I'm disappointed is because naamini kuwa hakuna mzazi ambaye anaweza kulea mtoto wake alafu ampatie ile hiyo idea enda uchome shule. Hiyo najua ni jambo lilitokana na wao wenyewe, na kwa hivyo I stand here as a parent, I stand here as a County Education Board member, I stand here as a children rights officer, and I also stand here on behalf of the children of this country. We condemn the entire of that situation, na tunataka kusema kuwa hilo si jambo tunataka kuona likitokea katika mashule yetu. It is very disappointing that saa hii tuko second term na ndio unaona watoto wengi sana wanaendelea kugoma. Na sijui hata mgomo yenyewe inachangiwa na nini. So it's very critical that at this point tuweze kabisa kama shule, kama mashule, kama administrators within the education fraternity to make sure that watoto wetu wako safe, whatever comes may. And I want to appreciate DCI kwa kuwa wanasema waliweza kuwapata hao wasichana. And it is because of technology. Kwa hivyo kuna wenye nimeona pia kwa mitandao wanasema CCTV hazifai kukua. Mimi mwenyewe nasema zikue. Kwa sababu zisingekuwa kwa hiyo dormitory, hatungeweza kujua ni akina nani waliweza kutekeleza yale maovu. So it is important that all schools within our country borrow the same ICT idea from Utumishi. Let them put those cameras wherever they can. Hiyo itaweza kutusaidia sana kama jamii. And also again, in as much as these are children, tafadhali, whatever that the court rules on this issue, we will be there to make sure we follow it up. Our wasichana, we are going to make sure that they are going to serve as a living example for all other students who are pretending, or they even plan, or they even want to start planning vitu kama hizi kwa mashule yetu. There will be no other death within our schools, and therefore we are going to make sure that these ones serve as an example of what the students shouldn't do in our schools. Asanteni sana. Na vile ningetaka kusema kama mzazi, kwa sababu msichana wangu alikuwa 4 blue, ako form 4 blue in Utumishi Girls, na Mercy Precious alikuwa class prefect wao. So inauma sana kuona watoto vile hata wanashinda wakilia. Hatujaweza kulala by the way since that incident, kwa sababu wengi wao they are super traumatized. Hata kusikia kitu inaanguka, especially wenye wanaishi kwa magorofa, wakisikia kitu imeanguka ama mtoto amelia, they also start screaming. Kwa sababu ile trauma wamepitia is just too much. So saa hii tunajaribu kuona vile wanaweza pata counseling and therapy, ndio at least tuweze kuwasaidia at least kuheal na kumove on. Tomorrow again we'll be meeting in Naivasha law courts. That's where the girls, the suspects are being arraigned, and we will make sure that we follow up until every survivor and every victim of these incidents gets justice. Hiyo nayo hatutawachilia. Thank you.
Kwa majina yangu naitwa Josephat Mongai na mimi ni mzazi, baadhi ya wazazi wa Utumishi Girls, na jioni ya leo niko na furaha ya kwamba sisi kama wazazi wa Utumishi Girls kutoka upande wa Nakuru County, leo hii tulikuwa tumejumuika pamoja kuja kufariji mmoja wa wazazi wetu ambaye anaitwa baba na mama Precious. Precious ni mmoja wa wanafunzi ambao waliangamia katika mkasa wa moto ambao ulifanyika katika shule yetu. Na kwa hivyo sisi kama wazazi tukasema tutajumuika pamoja na watoto wetu, ili ya kwamba tuje hapa tuweze kujumuika na kufariji hii familia. Na kama mnavyoona, wazazi ni wengi ambao wamefika hapa upande wa Nakuru, mahali panaitwa Alanet, na tumeweza kujumuika na hiyo familia. Tumeongea nao, tumeomba pamoja, pia tumewapea maneno ya kuwafariji mioyo yao, na tumehakikisha kwamba wako sawa, na tukaambia kwamba hata kuendelea na jambo hili mpaka litakapofika mwisho tutakuwa pamoja na wao. Na pia ningetaka kusema tunafurahia juhudi ambazo uongozi wa shule unafanya. Kama sasa tulisikia ya kwamba minister wa security alisema ya kwamba shule zote ziwekwe CCTV, na hilo ni jambo ambalo tunaliunga mkono, kwa sababu hata katika hili jambo ambalo limepata shule yetu, isipokuwa ni CCTVs, hatungejua yale ambayo yaliendelea. Zaidi ya hayo, sisi kama wazazi tumehuzunika sana. Kwanza wakati tulipoona hizo CCTVs footage zikionyeshwa, na zikaonyesha vile baadhi ya watoto walipanga vile wataangamiza wengine, vile watawasha moto kwa bweni lao, tulipatwa na huzuni sana. Pendekezo langu la kibinafsi kama mzazi ni ya kwamba wale watu ambao walifanya hivyo, ikiwa na wanafunzi, haki itendeke, wachukuliwe hatua ya kisheria, kwa sababu hao ni watu ambao ni hatari hata katika maisha. Nilikuwa na imagine watoto kama hao wakiwa wananchi, wakiwa baadhi ya wananchi, wanaweza fanya mambo magani? Na hii ndio mambo unasikia hata watu wanahusishwa katika terrorism na mambo kama yale. Tungeomba ya kwamba haki itendeke kwa watoto ambao waliangamia, na kwa wazazi kama huyu mama Precious na baba Precious ambao wameachwa wakilia kwa sababu ya ndoto ya mtoto wao ambao ilikatizwa kigafra na wanafunzi ambao walifanya hicho kitendo. Kwa hivyo, na tumesema sisi kama wazazi wa Utumishi tutabaki kuwa pamoja. Hata wale wazazi wamepoteza watoto hata katika sehemu zingine za nchi, tutajumuika pamoja na tuhakikishe ya kwamba hili jambo limefika katika tamati. So asanteni sana, na wazazi wote asanteni, na ninatoa pole zangu kwa fraternity yote ya Utumishi, walimu wa Utumishi, wasimamizi wa Utumishi na nchi kwa jumla, kwa sababu ya hili janga ambalo litupata, kwa sababu ni la kila mtu. Asanteni na Mungu awabariki sana. Asante.